All right, Shalom. Here's what I'm excited about. I'm excited about your story because I think it's going to be a very impactful story long before you fall into franchising. So the only question that I script is the first one, which, as simple as it is, it opens up a great story typically, which is how did you accidentally fall into franchising? What is your franchise accident story?
Thank you, Nick. So you get a chance to glimpse under the hood of Right at Home Cleveland East. I came to this business because mom and dad were struggling to stay independent. Dad had Parkinson's for, I don't know, wound up being like close to 25 years. And we just wanted to have more support. He wanted to live at home, die at home, be with mom, my wife, my family, my pets, my community. Like he just wanted to be able to have as much independence as possible. But he was falling, and it was like a revolving door, going back to the hospital, they'd mess up his meds, put him in the nursing home, they'd ignore him. Like we were just trying to help him to stay comfortable, age in place. We were looking for caregivers. We actually, I'm in the military. We moved in with them briefly, total disaster, but had to be done. And, started hiring caregivers. And at the same time, Right at Home said, we think you would be an excellent franchisee. You're a veteran, you know this work. You're a rabbi in the community, you work at the hospital. They were like, you know what? We think you're coming at this for the right reasons. And it's been a pretty steady growth. We've done very well, both, financially, personally. Dad got what he wanted. We got what, he got to know his grandkids. They got to know him. Right now we're supporting mom as well. Typical, we're in the sandwich in the middle. And so I would say that we've been successful personally and professionally.
I'm always curious on the identity side, not going political, more so going individual. I heard rabbi, I heard in the military, I hear business owner, I hear caregiver. Like if you were to look in the mirror, what would you what would you identify at? You're at a cocktail hour. What do you say you are?
I'm all of those things. Yeah, I'm also a son and a father and a husband, and I'm all those things. So my primary work is as an owner of Right at Home. I do a lot of what I call the outside sales, marketing, advertising, business development. I'm doing basically our whole intake, the assessments. I'm super lucky to have my wife and partner managing more of the inside. She's our office, not just a manager, but some of the other things like billing, payroll, accounts. She's looking after things like scheduling, staffing, education, training, right? And we have a full team. We have about 100 employees, and we stay pretty busy. We help about, I don't know, maybe 80 seniors, 80 adults at a time in the community. And we pretty much stay in this neighborhood. We don't really go terribly. We're just basically the center of the east side of Cleveland, and no lack of clients. I'm not getting any younger. I don't think any of us are. But we just continue to be, respectful, caring, showing up on time, answering the phones 24/7, just being available, communicating in a good way. And the business has grown because we're pretty consistent.
How do you manage balance? I mean, again, like you just said, I identify as all of these things.
All right. So the work-life balance has definitely become easier because we have teams and we have processes. So we're not creating this from scratch. I mean, we have a blueprint to follow from Right at Home. We have a strong franchisor. We have coaches also coming. So, virtually and in person. We're part of a performance group. So we're kind of like a board of directors for some of the other offices, and they do that for us. So yeah, it's, when I say we answer the phone, it's not me personally. I mean, I take a turn, but we have teams, and it's working.
How did you learn how to let go? Because obviously, like you have to enlist trust.
The great idea is hire people who are better than you are at it, and then you trust them. and I don't micromanage. So I just want them to be successful. They're growing also in their careers. We've had caregivers go from, one place to another place, into nursing and social work, for example. I see them in the community. I'm proud of them. It's wonderful. I mean, we're part of the community. We've, as you can see, brought, hundreds of jobs into our community. And we're helping our clients to get what they want, which is a little bit of quality life, dignity, aging in place. They just want to be home, wherever they call home. Some of them are in assisted living, but that's their home. And yeah.
One thing that I'm fascinated by, and this is a deep statement. I definitely have a deep fear of death, and when I think about the compassion, and even your energy is fantastic, big smile, happiness, yet you're around something that is such a vulnerable moment to life. How do you put that in a compartment? And is it because you were caring for your parents when you started that it helped you understand what you were going to have to deal with emotionally?
So part of it is God. My faith helps to keep me grounded. I'm a chaplain now, I guess coming towards 30 years. I do suicide prevention for the military in the hospital. I've been doing this for a while. I just started 15 with the Navy and Marine Corps, but yeah, I think part of it is knowing who you are, bringing your strengths, outsource the rest of the things that you're not strong at. I'm a people person, so I like to be engaged, listening, caring. Yeah, that's what we do.
And so it allows you to manage the whatever stress could come. And look, I'm sure like reality is you're dealing with the stress of families too that are going through a very, very tough period as well.
Right. So when families call us, they're typically facing a crisis. Maybe they've received, I don't know, terminal diagnosis, or maybe they're, deciding on things like end of life or hospice. Sometimes they're just coming to us. I'm scared. I'm facing I don't know, a knee or a hip or a ortho type joint replacement. I don't know. Sometimes I can talk them out of using our services. We're not the right fit for everybody, but I'm highly connected. So I don't just stay in my little silo. I only do one thing, which is home care, private duty, non-medical. However, we work with our partners. Actually, we work with our competitors too, where we make referral. I mean, we're supporting each other. None of us can help everybody. So we're very much part of the fabric of our community. And so I don't do like skilled home health. I'm not sending in therapists and that sort of thing, but I know who does.
Does anything scare you in business?
No, our business is strong. It's growing steadily. I don't know. As long as we continue to do the right things for the right reasons, we're not, our biggest struggle, I guess, would be continuing to focus on hiring the right people. I look for employees that have had a couple of years of experience living in this field, working with clients with dementia. Sometimes they're family members. And then we give them our training, our support, supervision, scheduling. So we do a number of things to support our caregivers and their teams. But that would be the scary part, is that, children are moving farther away. There's that's a challenge. I mean, we're in the middle of the Midwest. I mean, there used to be, larger families staying closer, living in the same house or next door. And I see more, I mean, someone hired us yesterday from California, and, 3-hour time difference just on the phone. But we're able to take some stress off of him and his sister, help their mom and her sister as well, just to get back home after hospitalization and, feel comfortable that they're being cared for. And then when they don't need us anymore, we don't have a contract. We just come when we're needed, and we'll bring the caregivers to somebody else's house.
I keep going back to this, but your energy is so it's calming, because like and part of what I'm doing is I'm thinking through the lens of someone who is on the fence of making a big decision in their career, in their life, in their family, to say I want to own a business. And if they're looking at a senior care brand, or they're looking at right at home, then they like, what are they navigating inside their brain, and how do they get comfortable with it? Like, I think of the fake analogy of walking up to the edge of a diving board before you jump for the first time. And as a kid, we're scared. We don't know what it. We might have some excitement, but we're trying to navigate, like, how do we create this bravery in us to do it? And I see a lot of the similarities in business, that a buyer can get to the end and can come up with a million excuses on why it's going to fail. But what is those final pieces that push them over? And I, like, what I'm extracting from your story is, this is just how you're cut. You're not cut to approach things with fear. It's like, let's go.
No, I definitely, I would say, kicked the tires on the Right at Home franchise before I purchased my first territory, and then I bought another one a number of years after that. But I was reassured when I saw that the investment that the franchise was making in training. I think that's something that sets our franchise apart. I also went and I spoke to a number of other Right at Home owners, ones that were doing well and ones that were struggling. I mean, everybody has challenges in business every day. That's life, right? I like to think that part of it was the franchise support. I think part of it was just, I feel like I have a passion for this. I like doing it. I could retire. I could sell my friend. People are looking to buy my franchise. I get calls every week on it, but I enjoy doing it. I'm making a difference. And my caregivers, like, they come to somebody's house and maybe there's some anxiety or there's some pain, and maybe we can do something to, I don't know, someone's coming out of the hospital, just, make that day go away. Oh, here's somebody who cares. Maybe get them washed up, bring them their meds, sort the mail, water the plants, bring the cat home from the neighbors, cook a meal, make the house smell good, tuck them in. I mean, what's better than that, right? Because it's like, renting a daughter. I mean, I love it. So here you have somebody who cares, and hopefully they'll get through that. Could take a little while. Some of our clients were with them for many years. I mean, we develop relationships. I mean, I was in a neighborhood just yesterday, and one of the neighbors came running out to me. Shalom, shalom. So we were together with one of her neighbors for like 7 years running, and every day, every night, every weekend, every holiday, didn't miss any days. And she would come and visit them, and sometimes she would bring over soup, and so she recognized me. We were together when our client passed. We were holding her hands, and it was kind of sweet. It was special. It was rewarding, and she was like, "Oh, so nice to see you again." So that was lovely.
So you found all this purpose in the return of the business. You said you were kicking the tires for a while. Can you remember?
Oh, no, and I looked at some other franchises too. There's some other good ones. Part of it is what we bring, but I think the franchise also invested in us. And when you're looking at this, they were interviewing us. We were interviewing them as well. Yeah.
Do you know them?
I don't know that there's other like religious. There's maybe a couple, but there's not as many people like from the religious professions coming into business. I don't see that a ton. But I think it gave me anyway some additional grounding, because like when you're first starting out, you're like, when's the phone gonna ring? And they're like, oh, the phone is ringing. Now what do I do? And so then there's times when it's slow and times that it's busier. So I think it helps that I can give some of the stress to God, pray on that. That's just kind of my faith. But yeah, it's it is rewarding. It has been financially very strong. We've done very well with this, and now we've been able to help other people too. In fact, some other people have come into our city, looked at Right at Home as a franchise. There's still some available. There's wonderful territories out there. I'm not trying to serve other ones, and I'll be thrilled to help them if they want to call me. If they're next to me, I'll make them referrals as well. But yeah, we tend to support each other. It's a good group. Like, we get together every year, sometimes even twice a year. We're supporting each other. I think it's a very diverse group. I think that's a strength also. All over 8 other countries too. I mean, there's a network of right at home franchisees that are really just beautiful people.
Can you remember the moment when you were looking at the other franchises? Obviously you landed on the support, you saw it, but can you remember the moment where you said, this is my place?
I would say that probably happened. They call it visiting day. I was in Omaha, Nebraska, which is where Alan Hager, our founder, was. He was there. I had a chance to meet him. He was a hospital administrator, and he also saw the revolving door of, brokenness in our healthcare system. Not saying anything political here, but doctors, everybody's staying in their own silos, not communicating as well. And what he saw, which is also what I saw, is that maybe if there's a professional in the house with you when you're feeling anxious, maybe instead of having to go back to the ER, we could maybe get you washed up, get you to your doctor. Oh, because we drive. We don't just like cook and clean. We help to communicate. And sometimes you can take a little bit of that stress away, and it could make the difference of having a hospital readmission and all that entails versus staying in the comfort of your own home and getting the care you need. And it's also not that expensive.
Yeah. What's your dream in business and life? Like what's next for you? You've accomplished so much.
So this is a strong business. It is valuable. We will, if we're not needed anymore for our immediate family. I mean, we're looking after mom today, So at a certain point, we'll sell the business, and maybe we'll spend more time with our family. But overall, I'm not doing that today. We're enjoying it, and it's hard and it's rewarding.
If there's someone out there that is watching this and they're trying to come to ease with becoming a franchisee and even specifically joining right at home, what advice would you have for them?
So I wouldn't come at it like with a managerial perspective as much of like trying to, focus as much on the numbers. I would say focus on the people, invest in, learning how to be a caregiver and being able to share and teach. So to know your why, to know, why you're doing this. I mean, it has been very financially lucrative for us, but that wasn't our why per se. It was part of it, but the main part was focus on how can I support my caregivers. And also, you don't have to know everything. You don't have to like super analyze all pieces of the decision. At a certain point, you gather the information that you can find, and then give yourself a deadline, and then make the best decision for you with the knowledge that you have at that time. You don't have to like try to micromanage all of it. Let some of it come to you. For example, we call it right start, but at the beginning of the franchisee's journey, we offer lots of additional support. And the franchisees also get it to make it's their business. They get to make a lot of important decisions, like where am I going to recruit my caregivers? What are my pay rates? What are my bill rates? Where am I going to find my clients? Am I going to focus more on care for people with dementia, or maybe care for people who are, having a cancer journey? I mean, lots of choices. Am I going to stay focused in my, my neighborhood or in my house of worship or church? Am I, lots of choice. No wrong choices. They're all good choices. How will I bring more support to my caregivers as they're on teams? What can I do to make their time working for us more rewarding?
I'm curious on the Parkinson side, because you're involved in research and education on that side of the business, and obviously it's a passion for yours because of what you went through with your dad. Are you positive on movement and things improving in things like Parkinson's? Like, or do you
Unfortunately,
think
we
it's,
don't have a cure, and it's a horrible disease. On the bright side, there's better treatments. There was more drugs, so we're able to do more symptom management. I helped to run a Parkinson support group here in our neighborhood. We help to do fundraising, also education too, on Parkinson's. It's it's something that I care about. I have a new client yesterday. Now, they weren't in my service area. They were a little bit too, I don't try to help everybody. I can't, if I send my caregivers too far from where they live, we become less reliable. Plus it snows here. So, but I was able to refer them to one of my competitors who will go to the next county. And, but I gave them all kinds of resources, whatever they asked me. I mean, unfortunately, I'm highly opinionated. And I shared with them, like, well, here's what works, for some of my clients. Here's things that are not working, but maybe they'll work for you. I give them the benefit of whatever I'm hearing. I mean, I'm talking to dozens of people a day about their health challenges and, who's helping them and, what's working. And so I'll share. So I'm like a community resource. People call for just, as they're looking for a sounding board.
that's awesome. Well, look, I mean, when I look at your resume, and I'm sure like the modest side of you doesn't look at it the same way, but I hear rabbi, military dad, husband, Parkinson's, business owner, caretaker. Like, you've definitely crafted what I perceive as the life that you wanted, and I think that's one of the most amazing things when I see franchisees that obviously might not have the resume that you have, but when they start to craft the life that they want and say, this is the outcome that I want, and when I can give back to my community and do everything that I wanted to do, I'm excited for it. And so I'm quite impressed with your backstory. I think it's awesome. I've already said this, but I'm impressed with your ability to bring sunshine to this conversation. Like, you have an aura about you that is very positive. And I think our world could use more of that. And I'm grateful that you've shared some of your story with me today.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to share. And I love giving back, like Sunday, for example. So I usually I volunteer at our local food pantry. This Sunday, we did a cemetery cleanup for one of the cemeteries that's not in great shape. So not exactly abandoned, but we made it nicer. So for when the people are coming, like for Memorial Day, Father's Day, so that it'll be, no trees in the middle of the road, nicely painted, gates and fence. And then I work with a couple of folks who are kind of in transition. They're between jobs, shifting careers. So, listening, doing a little coaching. And then I did something with one of my kids, and then something with my wife's family. So that's kind of like, that's a typical day. And frankly, I could have done that in the middle of the week too. Like, it's my business, right? But the phone is ringing a lot more, and there's more people who are saying, hey, can you come out to our house and, can you visit and share with, maybe you can help. So, yeah.
I think there's value in that last statement too, because and here's the thing, like, if I go back to 2008, probably is when I started working with Right at Home. And I've looked at just how much the industry has evolved in that time period, 17 years. Yet there's so much room left, and there's so much demand, and there's not enough supply yet. And so if I watch the progress that we've made, it's been incredible to having compassion for seniors and giving a different type of management, end of life management. And so it's come so far, but there's still so much room left to grow here. And that's and the phone always ringing. That means there's still a tremendous demand for services that you can offer,
There's no lack of demand. And I need more competitors. I'm looking for more people who are willing to come into our field. I wish we had more nurses. We need more good docs. We need more support.
Well, this is a step towards getting there. So, Shalom, thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm grateful for
Pleasure,
it.
Nick.
Shalom, I'm Nick. This was another episode of Meet the Z.